Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today we have a visitor in the data center. I have borrowed a Lenovo x3850 X6 that I can borrow and play with for 14 days, and I want to put it in the data center, and I find a spot for it down here. Right here, it's a hole, nothing there, and it will be on top of its old predecessor, and this is a 3900 series, and as the newer module, the X6, this older server was also able to cluster up with more of these. You were actually able to put together 4 of these to get up to a total of 16 cores. I didn't get the rails to this server. It's a demo model that I've borrowed, but I found that I have some rails and they are about the same system. The x3850 is not supposed to come out of the rack when it's mounted, so it's more or less just to keep it at the right height. So I'm gonna be plopping those in. They're actually for a tape library, I think, but well, it didn't come with rails or mounting, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. And when it's not the right system, it's not really interesting to see, so I'm not gonna be filming me screwing in the rails. It's not the one that comes with the server. I'll be putting that in. So I'll put in some rails. I could probably just have put it on top of the other server, but this way I would be able to take out the bottom server. Not that I think I'm gonna be doing that. Let's go visit the visitor. Here is the System X3850 X6. I borrowed this one from Lenovo. I can have it play with it for 14 days. And it's rather heavy. They say that fully equipped, this server needs 4 men to carry it or a lifting truck something. But this is very modular built, so you can actually take it apart. And I'm only me. I need to make this as light so that I can carry it myself. So I'm gonna take out all the parts. And Lenovo said I can do anything with this. I can install things on it and take it apart. And the only thing I promised them was that if this server should actually catch on fire or let out all the smoke, I wouldn't put the film online. Yeah, I did promise that. Let's take it apart. These compute books go out. These are fan blowers. And there's a little leather here, 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 and these come out. And this is the RAM and the processor unit. Those over here. They're fairly heavy too, so this gets lighter very fast. Oops. Oh, over here is the storage unit. LED. I just found something new. This can be lifted up. There's a blue lever here and you can lift that up. Take it out. I don't know why, but you can. Put that over there. That's the front of the server. Now let's see what we can take out. Oh, it's heavy back here now. We can take out the I/O book. Yeah, that's out. There's 4 power supplies. They're out. And there's, well, this ain't heavy at all, but well, now that I can say that it's empty. And I can carry this. Cool. Well, now this is more or less just a backplane. There is some power connectors down there and there's a backplane there. Let's turn it around and see what we have on the other side. We have a backplane with a lot of connections in there. And And that's what we got. And the Lenovo brand right there. So with the server empty, it won't be a big problem for me to carry this one out into my data center and then just pick up all the pieces and put them back in. There we are. Doesn't look like much. I'll go get all the pieces. I kind of forgot to tell you what product number this is. And the IBM product number is down here. And IBM called it the 3837. But it has gotten a new Lenovo number. And in Lenovo it's a 6241. Very important if you should want to get one of these, that's the number to go with, because that's the Lenovo number. Let's put in the front modules here. I'm gonna start with the storage controller module book thing, where all the storage is. If you didn't see the first video, that's the RAID controller, and over here are the disks, and there is the backup battery for the RAID controller, and so more or less this is the storage controller. It also holds the things for the display, a couple of USB ports, some buttons and the VGA connection. But mainly it's the storage. So let's get that in. And then we have the compute units. Okay, and it goes in this way. That. Like that. And we can put in the first couple of fan blowers. It's a fan blower there. That. And the fan blower. Next, compute book. They call these modules books because they're like books on a shelf. So I'm just gonna put some more books in our system here. I found that I have a tendency to take this unit where the transparent plastic is at. That's probably not a good idea. Have to be careful not to break the plastic. Okay, that's more or less the front of the server. Now I just have these things that need to go to the back of the server. There's not that much room back there, so don't know if I can fit the camera. Okay, there's not a lot of room back here, so I'm just gonna plug in these things fairly quick. Couple of fillers, power supplies, 1, 2, 3, and number 4. Here, and we have the I/O unit. Plug that in, and we might as well put some power on this thing while we are back here. Plug in some power on one here. See if the smoke comes out. It sounds fairly normal. Power on that one too. There's 4 power supplies of 1200 watts each. So that's a beast. Have my mouse and my keyboard. Now plug that in. Just plug it in. How does that go? Plug that in there. Need a couple of network connections. I need one for the IMM adapter. That's that one. And we need to plug in a network connection. Let's just pick one. Let's hope the top one is number 1. And I really like to have a screen on it as well. So So we will plug in my screen. There, we are connected. The system is, it's not on, but it's powered. All Lenovo/IBM servers has this function of they blink when there's power on them, but they're not actually on. But I just wanted to go through the display here. And first we have just, it's bragging about who it is. It's an x3850, and you can just read that up there, but it also says it down here. So we can go through the menu. The first one, there is nothing. The second one, it tells you that it has no errors, and that has nothing too. If it had an error, you could go in there and see that. Next one is System Vital Product Data, and that's like it has the machine type, it has the serial number, and it has a unique ID, and that's about it. Next, and to go back, you press the, I would call this the menu button, but it's actually the good button, or OK, or what we normally call that. So let's go one more down, and it can tell us about the firmware. Here is the BIOS thing and the date for it. So let's go down. UEFI something more. IMM and the date and the DSA diagnostics something, and that's the end of that one. So let's go back, and one further down we have the IMM2 network information. We can go in there and we can put a host name here. Right now it's just some gibberish. That's probably some of the MAC address, and here is the MAC address. Is that the same thing? Yeah, right now its name is the MAC address, and here is the IP number. It has clearly gotten an IP number from my DHCP server, so that's good. And here is the primary DNS. We have the secondary DNS. I think this is Google. And it has my router. And the subnet is that. Oh, that's the router. So that's the end of the IMM network information. Let's go down. System environment information. And this is really interesting as well, because if we press that, we can see that it thinks it's seeing 16 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold. I don't know if that's correct, but the server is very cold. It might be cooling down the air itself. It has been sitting in my winter garden for the night, and that's not heated. We can see the temperature of the CPUs. That's not available, probably because the server is off. And we can see the voltage on the power supplies, 231 volts. On, oh, that one only have 228. Something is, well, it might be the cable, it might be something else. It is still a good voltage. And right now it's using 20 watts. It's not even powered on, but it's using 20 watts in standby mode. That's for the IMM adapter being ready to turn the server on. And then while talking, it just dropped to 17 watts. How rude. Luckily it was the good way. It wasn't like dropping another 3 watts up. It dropped down. And there is nothing more, and then it dropped up again. It doesn't like me. That's the last on that. And the last one is action. And in here we can reset system. We do that by holding this for 3 seconds. I feel no need for that. That will reset the IMM adapters, I believe. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put the camera on the tripod and power this beast on and be ready to run. So to power on this server, we just press the on button. There we are, powered on. Lights up green. And we have a monitor up here where it's now initializing the memory. Let's see how that goes. System is initializing memory, and that is also on the display. Actually, we get a little bit different information on the display. If we see that down here, Wi-Fi memory initialization. Pretty neat. There is like 512 gigabytes of memory in this system, so I expect this might be taking a little bit. Oh, Lenovo branded. So, do we want to go in? Yeah, let's go into the setup. Well, they actually put on a little counter there, so you can see how that it's actually doing something. That's great. I still have no idea what's in this server. I know that there's 2 solid state drives. I don't know what processor is in this, so let's go see that. Is that where we see that? Yeah, we have 4 installed packages of 2.8 gigahertz processors. Do we get processor details? Okay, there is 15 cores per CPU and they're 2.8 gigahertz. So this server is equipped with 60 cores and they're each 2.8 gigahertz. And they are the 4890 version 2. All of them. Yeah, they have to be alike, all of them. They have hyper threading, so there's like 30 threads per core. So this VMware would see a total of 120 threads, CPU threads. This is cool. Do we see some boot devices? Just change boot order. It's CD-ROM drive, hard disk 0 and PXE boot. That's probably okay. I think I'm gonna go take control of this from my computer and we can look some more into this and install some VMware. I was just looking at the processor here and I really got a good processor this time. The last time I borrowed a server from Lenovo, I got the entry level scruffy looking one, the smallest processor and only one of them. This time they have given me this processor, which is the i7-4890 version 2, and it has a listed price of $6,619 a piece, and there's 4 of them. So boy, that's a difference. And it's a 15 core. Pretty cool. I also tried to see how fast this is, and it's not even listed here. I usually use this site called cpubenchmark.net, and they have a very nice list of different CPUs. The closest one I can find is this one. It's a 4870. It's not this same one. This is the generation 1 of the i7 4800 series, and it's only a 2.4 gigahertz, but it does run 17,000. So the one that I am borrowing from Lenovo should be a fair amount faster than that one. Probably somewhere up here in the 20,000 something at least. Like these processors, there are 2 of them, but these are also 2 processors. It's not just one processor, but yeah, it should be a really fast processor. There is no test results for one of these processors because they cannot run. You cannot run just one of those processors. You have to have at least 2 of them. So it's lacking a little bit. I wanted to go get a image for this thing, so this has nothing to do with that. So I started by looking. I searched Google and I found that there is an image file here. I think this is a ESXi6.0.0 image, and it's a custom Lenovo image, and I'm hoping to find something with the drivers for the flash storage that is in the memory banks. This is very big. It's 4.5 gigabytes. So well, I also found one over at VMware's site. It's down here, custom Lenovo image CD. Let's go see the download. It's probably the exact same thing. No, it's not. This one is considerably smaller, even though it's about 50 megabytes bigger than a normal image file. I think I'll try this one, or at least I'll download it. You'll probably wanna. Okay,
And here I am on the Lenovo page. It's wanna make sure that agree to these terms and conditions. Sure. Yes, agree. And I can save it. Download. And let's see, does it say anything? It says kind of, I think I'll change that to Lenovo. That's better. It's an old one. I have no idea, but they could have upgraded that. This image file is from May, the 13th of May, so it's not a new image, which is a little bit odd, but I'm getting that one. I might just get this one as well. Let's see. Agree. Oh, that was just 4.5 megabytes. That's not correct. I thought it was gigabytes. Well, cheated. We'll just use that one, where they've put all the drivers in it. And there was a Lenovo guide for the customized image reference guide for all the things that they support in their VMware ESXi 6.0.0 image. There's just a lot of model numbers for different stuff to put in your server. So never mind that. Let's see if the server responds on its web page. I think actually I'll go use Internet Explorer. I have the experience that these server systems really like Internet Explorer better. And it was number 15. Let's see. We found something. Your browser session. Go away. And user ID and password. And that's password with capital letters and a 0 instead of the O. Okay, we're in. I would like to give this a new host name, so we are just gonna rename it here. Right now the host name is the MAC address, so we are being punched through to the network settings. So here I'll set my PLAY, my PlayHouse, and we'll save that somewhere. Oh, I guess it doesn't like that. Okay. I'm not able to put in this space in here, so now it can apply. Yada yada yada. Yeah, sure. Go do that. That's all good. Let's go see if we have access to the remote management on this machine. Remote control it's called. It should be included if I'm not much mistaken. And it's complaining about my Java. Again, it's always complaining about my Java. Oh. Okay, it's actually says that my browser Java version is okay. Let's start single user remote mode. Can we open this? Allow. We should get, if this works, we get the screen. Huh? Yeah, we're in. We even got a nice Lenovo background here. I didn't notice that out on the monitor. It might have been, it was probably there, but now I see it. We probably need to go see if we can configure our RAID controller. That's not in there. System settings, adapters, yeah. And then we have our RAID controller. Ooh, that looks very different from what I'm used to seeing. Drive manager, that can see a couple of hard drives. Have the two SATA solid state disks right there. But over here in the IMM, here is the server. It's doing good. We have the storage management and we have a local storage where we can set those settings. And in here, it can actually see all the storage that is on the memory bus as well. on each of the processors there's a couple of memory blocks that are actually storage. They are solid state storage in the memory bus, and they show up here. Flash, DIMMs. What I really want now is just to configure these two so that I can get my VMware up and running. We'll go to RAID configuration. Can we create a volume? Create volume. Select that one. Next. Here we can select the two drives. Do we want to RAID 0? We'll just stay on RAID 0. So the space of the two hard drives will be put together as one drive. So we're gonna add members, and they'll be over there. Very nice. Next, capacity, create volume. We're gonna create a volume on that. We'll just call it boot. Boot. And my best guess is that this is fine. Unchanged. Okay. And we have a boot drive. What can we do? We can edit volume, remove volume, create volume. Okay, that's fine. Next. Finish. That was a whole lot easier than using this thing. Wonder if we can see the changes in here. Yeah, now there is a new volume in here too. 445 gigabytes. Create volume. Completed. Close. Okay. Let's go out and boot this thing. And settings. And I will do we will just do a power reboot. Yes, just to make sure that the changes are put into effect. And we'll boot again, and it will boot in ESXi 6.0.0. Let's just check that that is still mounted, active, on mount. Yes, something is mounted, so that is good. Okay, it's booting again, and it's loading VMware ESXi installation. This is a very powerful virtual host. 4 Intel CPUs, i7 4890s version 2 of 2.8 GHz, 512 gigabytes of RAM. It's a beast. It's ready to continue, so let's see if we're so lucky that we have anything to install on. I hope so. There we are. We have a new drive. Only thing we can select, so we're gonna select that, and I always just select Danish. Here we go, and I type in my secret password. Got that, and the installation can continue. We have now installed ESXi 6.0.0, so let's go in and configure this a little bit. I'm rather curious to see how many network adapters it can see. Right there, NIC 0 is connected. Okay. I will go and configure some kind of an IP number. I have consulted my IP management. It's just a spell sheet. But the last server I borrowed, I reserved 2 IP numbers for those, so that was actually number 65 and number 66, and therefore I'm just gonna be putting 66 on this one. And then I should really go and configure the IMM adapter for 65. Probably gonna do that. And I'm gonna disable IP version 6. Let's do that. It has the unfortunate thing that I have to reboot the server when I do this. And with a big server like this, it actually takes a while. So it has taken the DNS addresses from the DHCP server, so I'm just gonna keep those. Cool. Escape. Do you want to boot? Yes. Be back in half an hour or so. This takes a while. Okay, maybe just 10 minutes. Have to make it sound good. So the computer is done booting, and I've been watching YouTube videos while it was doing that. So let's, it has the right IP number, it has the right processor, so I think I'm gonna add it to my VMware environment here. Just gonna minimize that and open my VMware console. Right here, I still use the client here. So we're gonna add that, add host. We're gonna pop in the IP number for that. And it finds blah blah blah. Yes, thank you. The evaluation. Next. And next. And okay, it's gonna be interesting to see. 80% done down here, complete. That's a beast. 120 logical processors, 4 CPUs, 15 cores each, 120 logical processors. That's a lot. We have our storage device. I'm very curious to seeing if we have any more storage than that. Add storage, disk loan. Apparently not. Hasn't found anything yet. So the 8 disks of 400 gigabytes that are in the memory, I'm not sure how to get a hold on that. I guess that will be for some other video to get that up and running. Okay, well, so far so good. Got the server up and running with VMware. Here we have 60 cores and they're like 2.8 gigahertz each. We have a lot of RAM. It's actually using 5.6 gigabytes of RAM for nothing. I wonder why it's doing that. Usually I see about 1.5 gigabytes of RAM being used. We have the performance in here. It's not doing much.
I got the server running. It's a bit noisy, I think. I hope. I've heard it turn down sometimes and then up again. Might be some kind of a BIOS settings that I don't know about yet. So, well, thank you for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and give me that like down here. It helps. Have a really nice day. Bye bye.